Never have I actually thought Trump was my daddy. And Kamala is not our mommy. Now, I realize Drew Barrymore has an effed up mom who put her into the spotlight at this young age and let her do drugs and drink when she was, I think, in the single digits, or like 12 at the oldest. That's a sickness, right? She's platformed these people. She leaned in and woke. Now she wants to get away with on Bill Maher. If you've changed, then own that. Own how you've changed, how you've seen the error of your ways. How you won't be kneeling down to the transgender cult anymore. And I'll listen to you. A lot of people have evolutions. I will listen to you. Right now, I think you're just saying what you think you need to say to be popular.
Let's talk about this train wreck of an interview, because honestly, I can't decide whether to laugh, cringe, or pour myself a double whiskey just to survive it. Drew Barrymore, yes. The same Drew who once literally got on her knees in front of Dylan Mulvaney sat down with Bill Maher. And let me tell you, this was not the redemption arc she thought she was writing now. Pause for a second. Drew Barrymore isn't just another celebrity. She's Hollywood royalty. A child star pushed into the spotlight before she even knew who she was. By her own accounts, she was drinking and doing drugs when most kids were still trading Lunchables. That kind of childhood doesn't just vanish, it leaves scars. And decades later, she still drifts through Hollywood like a balloon that slipped out of a kid's hand, floating, untethered, always trying to reshape herself into whatever the crowd wants. Problem? Candid doesn't work if you don't even know who you are. What we got instead was a masterclass in awkwardness, hypocrisy, and pure Hollywood doublespeak. Enter Megankelly. She didn't just critique Drew Barrymore, she absolutely dismantled her. Kelly took a scalpel to Barrymore's carefully polished image and sliced it wide open for everyone to see. Brutal, definitely. But fair. Here's the setup. Bill Maher makes his case. Under Trump, you could actually speak your mind. Under Biden, it feels like walking barefoot through a minefield. It's one wrong word, and boom, career gone, friendships gone, reputation torched. And whether you love Maher or hate him, you can't deny the point. We've all seen it. People canceled for decade-old tweets. Careers destroyed overnight because they dared to say something the woke mob didn't like. That wasn't paranoia, it was reality.
On Drew Barrymore, this is again on the podcast, and listen to what she said in SOT 28.
You have a lot of bravado about what you think is the truth or not, but it's just so refreshing. Like, you were doing this before it was so dangerous.
Still dangerous.
And it is just way too dangerous now.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it.
It's slightly less dangerous than it was 2 years ago because we did have a vibe change, and because the Democrats lost so badly in 2024, the blush is off the rose on left-wing censorship and, oh my God, you can't say that. Stop telling me what I can do, what I can say, what I can think, who my heroes are supposed to be. Just get.
But here's where Drew Barrymore completely fumbles the ball. She leans in, wide-eyed, and says, oh, it's still too dangerous to speak your real opinions. And I had to stop and ask myself, dangerous for who? Exactly. Let's not forget, this is the same woman who happily rolled out the red carpet for Kamala Harris and gushed over Dylan Mulvaney like they were humanity's saviors. In Drew's world, dangerous only seems to apply when the conversation drifts outside her carefully curated Hollywood bubble.
To his credit, he's been very consistent. But there you have Drew Barrymore talking about how it's still too dangerous to speak out with your real opinions. So what are her real opinions? Because just like Jimmy Kimmel and Sarah Silverman, she's been fueling the fire of wokeism for years. Who could forget how she humiliated herself next to fake quote unquote woman, meaning a man, Dylan Mulvaney, who came on her show and was treated like Jesus.
It's interesting. Because Megyn raises a question that's worth thinking about. Maybe Drew Barrymore has changed? Maybe she does have doubts about the woke talking points she's been parroting for years. But she's too terrified to say it out loud. And let's be real, the woke mob doesn't forgive. If you stray even an inch from the script, you're finished. This isn't normal politics where people argue and then move on. In woke culture, one slip and they'll cancel you, drag you, make sure you never work again. So maybe Drew does see the cracks in the ideology. Maybe she even regrets kneeling to Dylan Mulvaney on national TV. But instead of owning it, she hides behind this vague, it's dangerous language. And that's the sickness right there. It's because if you know the truth, but you're too afraid to say it, you're not innocent, you're complicit. And Drew Barrymore is absolutely complicit. She platformed Kamala Harris. She literally called her Mamala. Like, come on. It doesn't get more cringe than...
Oh my God. There's so much wrong with that clip. It's stomach turning. She like... Leftists need to learn the number one lesson of being happy in life. Do not lean into your problems. Don't lean into crazy. Everyone's had crazy in their lives. The successful, sane ones do not obsess over it, do not want to relive it over and over, do not want to talk about it night and day on their show, do not talk about things like the ground feels safe to me, and they certainly do not literally bend the knee to the cult of transgenderism, Drew, and then talk about how, gee, it feels so dangerous. It's so dangerous, still too dangerous to say how you really feel. About what? What is it? Do you have a reversal on that?
Politicians aren't our parents. But they sure as hell aren't supposed to be our mommy or daddy. This whole Trump is daddy, Kamala is mommy, garbage is embarrassing. Politicians aren't. They're to tuck us in at night or hold our hands. Their job is to lead, protect freedoms, create opportunities, and keep the country strong. We don't need babysitters. We need leaders. But Drew doesn't see it that way. She buys into the fantasy. And why? Because deep down, she's still that Hollywood child star conditioned to perform. Conditioned to say whatever keeps the audience clapping. It's not authenticity. It's survival. And that's exactly what makes this whole spectacle so.
You're in a safe space with Bill. Maybe he should have gotten her down on the floor, and she would have said how she really felt. You continuously vote for the party and the people who push that bullshit on us. You, madam, are complicit. You hosted Kamala Harris, who says, we all need to be woke. We need to be woke because we just do. That's your person who you actually had on your program and wanted us to call Mama.
Votes S. Not forget, this is the same Drew Barrymore who literally got down on her knees in front of Dylan Mulvaney. She bent the knee to woke ideology on live TV, and now she's suddenly warning about how dangerous it is to express opinions. Dangerous to whom? Exactly, Drew? Because you sure weren't worried when the mob was silencing conservatives. You weren't worried when entire careers were being torched for stepping out of line. Back then, you were cheerleading for the cause. The only reason you're suddenly nervous now is because the tide has turned. Americans are over it. People are mocking woke culture and pushing back harder than ever. And Drew can feel that shift. That's why she's panicking. It's not dangerous anymore to speak the truth. It's dangerous to keep clinging to the woke narrative when everyone else is finally waking.
We lift each other up. We all rise with the mouth quivering, just like the hideous to Dylan. Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy? Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy? Oh my God, she's too far gone. This is what happens when you become a Hollywood actress as a child. You lose your id. You don't know who you are. You're just floating. You're like the Martian, the astronaut disconnected from the spaceship. You're just adrift in space, untethered. You don't know who you are. Where do you find the strength to keep being the...
And look, let's be fair for a second. Drew Barrymore didn't exactly have the most stable upbringing. Hollywood chewed her up and spit her out before she even hit her teenage years. That leaves scars. It leaves you confused about who you are, always chasing approval, always looking for the next script to follow. You can see it in her interviews. She isn't grounded. She's floating, always trying to find the safe line that will make everyone clap. But here's the thing, when you live like that, you end up pleasing no one. And Megankelly nailed it. She basically said, be yourself at a minimum in front of all crowds. If you've changed, own it. If you haven't, stop pretending you have. 'Cause right now, Drew is just saying whatever she thinks the audience wants to hear. And that, my friends, is the definition of inauthentic. But the hypocrisy isn't. Just annoying, it's dangerous. Drew Barrymore has a massive platform. She reaches millions. And when she pushes woke nonsense one day and then tries to play the free speech is dangerous card the next, she isn't just confusing. She's fueling the very culture that silences people. She's not outside the problem. She